again, FlossTube. I'm back for another installment of me talking about cross stitch. My name is Beth Twist. If you've never visited my channel before, welcome. And I'm so glad to invite you into my living room. I normally try to shoot during the daytime when I have natural light, but my life is full of Nashville prep these days, and it just hasn't worked out during the daytime. So I'm using my fancy photography light, and it does a pretty good job of mimicking natural light. So it was either that or I was like orange from, we still have, so my kitchen is in front of me this way, and living room back here. All of my stuff is set up on the kitchen bar. We're mostly switched over to LED lights in the kitchen, but we still have some remaining compact fluorescents, and they're very orange. So anyway, I didn't mean to go off and tell you all of those things. Maybe I'll start over again. No point. So this is FlossTube episode 15, and I'm going to talk about some fun stuff today. I don't have a whole lot, so this might be short, or I could go off on a bunch of rabbit trails. I don't know. First thing on my list, which I will put in front of me so I don't keep looking down, is a gigantic thank you to anybody who has supported me in my little charity chart venture. You guys have knocked my socks off. I'm thrilled with the positive response I've gotten for my charts. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, go watch my previous video, number 14. Basically, I have a series of 4 charts, and they're all just black lettering on linen, and each one is going to benefit a particular charity that's a favorite of mine. It's hard to choose which one of the 4 is my favorite, but I really like what all 4 of them do. And the specifics are in that video, and it's not a real long one, so you could hop over there and watch that now and then come back and catch up with me here. One thing I did want to mention is something that I don't normally do. I had a misspelling on one of the charts. Now, if you know me in real life, you know that I'm a bit of a grammar Nazi, and I always catch misspellings in everything, and I've even been known to not go into an establishment because they have signage out front that is misspelled, and I don't know why it bothers me, but it bothers me. My feeling is that if you're going to put something forth for the public, you should make sure it's spelled right, right? Well, it came back to bite me. On the love chart, instead of having it say perseveres, it says persevers. I know, right? So the good thing about this is that somebody was brave enough to say something, say, hey, I don't think you spelled that word right. And I was like, what? No, not me. I always spell everything right. Checked it out, sure enough. So before any charts went out in the mail, the charts were corrected. The charts, instead of saying, I couldn't just fit an E into this line. It was going to crowd the letters too much. So instead of saying love always perseveres, it says it always perseveres, love never fails. So all charts that were mailed out are corrected. They're not going to match the cover, but they will spell all the words correctly. So I just wanted to let you know, if you are one of the people that decided to support the love charity and buy the love chart, you don't have to worry. Your chart has all the words spelled correctly. The cover, I am just going to leave it the way it is because it kind of makes me chuckle at myself. And one of the things that draws me to needlework in the first place, or drew me in the first place, were the antique schoolgirl samplers. And I guarantee you not very many of those girls stitched an entirely perfect piece of artwork. There's misspellings, there's dropped letters, there's wonkiness all over the place, and it's one of the things I love dearly about them. And so having my model, which says perseveres, is only going to be a smile-inducing thing for me. But your models, your stitched pieces from the chart will have the correct spelling. Another thing happened. Clearly, I was in a hurry to release these in my excitement because somehow in my design software, I flipped the titles for the hope and the faith charts. So basically the scripture that goes with the faith chart on the chart itself said hope, words to live by hope, and vice versa. So when my helper folded and packed the charts, she, as she should have, went by the title, and so all of the faith charts say words to live by faith, but it was the scripture from the hope chart and vice versa. And unfortunately, I sent out the first shipment of those before the error was caught. And so I reached out to each one of those people directly through Etsy, because that's where all of the orders have been placed. And each one of you, if you haven't seen it yet, you have a message from me with a PDF attached to it with the correct chart. So if you're one of those people from the very first week of orders, you ordered either the hope or the faith chart, go check your chart first and see if the scripture that's in it matches what's on the front of your cover. And if it doesn't, go find an Etsy conversation from me and it'll have a PDF attached to it that you can print off. If you don't have a printer, if you can't print it at home, just reply to the message and say, hey Beth, I don't have the ability to do this. Could you please mail me the correct chart? And I will gladly do that. So, all good intentions aside, there were a few little blunders with this series coming out, but it has been nothing but a positive experience for me, and I'm really encouraged by the response, and I'm excited. Today is the last day of January, and I'm excited probably tomorrow to tally up what the total was for each chart. I know for a fact that I'm going to be able to donate at least $200 to each of those charities. That's quite a few charts. If you combine all 4 of them, that's because I'm giving $10 from each, the sale of each chart. So that's at least 80 charts that were sold over the last couple weeks. So that's exciting to me. And here's the thing. I didn't want everybody to buy them right up front, because what I'm hoping is that some of you are holding back and will choose to buy them at a later date, because these charts for the rest of my designing career are going to be available and the proceeds will always benefit charity. There may be a point in time when I have to divert the funds to a different charity. I don't foresee that happening because all 4 of these establishments have been around for a long time and I don't see them going away. So anyway, 10 years from now, you could be watching this video and say, oh, hey, that's cool that she has that. Go check my shop, whatever shop I have at that point in time, whether it's Etsy or my own website, those charts will be there listed and they'll still be for charity. So don't feel like you have to run out and do this now. I also have ideas for 3 more words to add on, and I'm trying to come up with a 4th. And it won't be for another 4 charities, it'll be for the same 4. So, for example, you could buy the words to live by love and one of the future ones that I come up with, and they would both benefit the same charity, if that makes sense. I probably won't do that for a while. Earliest I would say I would do that would be next January. So if you like that idea, let me know. Always comment. below my videos, or reach out to me through private convo, through my email. I love interacting with you guys. I don't always have time, especially right now with the market on the horizon, to answer each one of you individually, but I read all your comments and I will always give you a thumbs up or a heart or something like that. And then if my brain pieces together an answer right there on the spot, I'll answer you. But often my brain is frozen and I'm just reading the comments and smiling. So thank you for all of your interaction with me. Thank you for supporting my fun little idea. Moving on, what have I been doing lately? Well, I've been drinking out of my new mug from my BFF. I got this. This is my favorite color, or close to my favorite color, and hers is pink, and she was out somewhere and she saw this mug came in pink and in this color, and so she got us matching mugs. I drink coffee, she drinks tea, doesn't matter. Variety is the spice of life. So I've been enjoying this mug, and because it's evening, I can't drink caffeine or I won't sleep. So I am drinking the next best thing, which is tea, and it's propping up my daffodils. I just thought I'd share a little bit of spring. No, these are not blooming at my house, not even close. We are probably still 2 months out from daffodils, but I saw these at the market and I couldn't resist. Who can resist the little tiny cute little daffodils? They're brightening up my kitchen right now. Rishi is the brand, and it's turmeric ginger. Oh, it's so good. It's warm, it's spicy, it's a little bit sweet. You don't have to add anything to it. It's perfect just the way it is. And it's good for you. So that's what I'm drinking right now. Can you still see those? Yep, there they are. Oh shoot, I forgot to get that to show you. No, maybe I'll show it in a later video. So in September, it will have been 20 years since my husband and I got married. And we spent all of our time dating, working on this house together. I did not live out here with him until after we got married. He was spending so much time out here. If I wanted to see him, I was learning home improvement, not home improvement, I was learning construction on the fly. Never done anything like this before. I learned how to operate a chop saw, I learned how to stain wood. It was sheetrock stage when we started dating, and so I did a lot of painting and sanding and all of that fun finishing type work, because he had a contractor to do the big jobs, but he really was the general contractor and all of the finish work was done by us. Anyway, it's not a very big house. It's almost 1,700 square feet, which is good for a family of 4, but when it gets challenging is when you're a family of 4 who likes to entertain and you don't have a true dining room. We basically have a breakfast nook, and so I can't sit people at a table and have like a nice lovely dinner. We have to eat out of our laps in the living room, and all we have room for in the living room is a sofa, a love seat, and a chair. And then when we have a larger group, we're like bringing in wooden chairs from the dining room, and people sit on the floor, and we have always dreamed of having a large gathering room where we could fit more people. The other dream we've always had is of living out the rest of our lives here. And all of the bedrooms are upstairs, and we are cognizant of the fact that when we get older, we may not want to climb those stairs every day. We might want to just stay on one story. So the plan from day one, like literally while we're building the house, we're talking about someday when we add on. So fast forward to today, we have a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old who are still sharing a bedroom, boy and girl, by the way, because the third bedroom upstairs is my office. And now my husband's new job, his corporate headquarters are in Texas and we're in Oregon, and so he's able to work from home a lot. My kids are homeschooled 3 days a week, and it gets really tight in here because I'm trying to work. Let's see if you can you see that little doorway right there? That is where the designing happens. My computer lives in the under the closet Harry Potter closet. I said closet twice. It's okay. You still like me, right? So I'll be right there at my computer trying to think and design and respond to emails and answer questions, and the kids are that way in the dining room at the table, dining room, breakfast nook, doing their schoolwork, and the hubs is right behind me on the love seat conference calling. It's hard to concentrate. So over the Christmas break, I cleared some space in the master bedroom upstairs and basically like wiped everything off of a table and said, here, this is your new office. And so he'll be upstairs conference calling. You can still hear every word he says, but it's muffled and not quite as distracting. And the kids have learned to put headphones on and it's all good. And I'm up and down the stairs because computer's here. And then there's the stairs right there. Filing cabinets, printer, supplies, everything is upstairs. And so it can seem kind of crazy around here some days. So that was a really long story. We finally are at the point where we're ready to start putting pencil to paper. And I've been having a lot of fun lately sketching out ideas for what we're gonna do when we add on. Basically, we're looking for more pantry space, and it's going to be probably a large butler's pantry type of a room with floor-to-ceiling shelves, but it's not just going to be kitchen pantry. It's going to be games, it's going to be linens, it's going to be finally a place for the vacuum cleaner and broom to live instead of being crammed in a corner. We're going to have a large gathering room like I talked about, master bedroom suite at the end, and then with a loft above. We want vaulted ceilings and a loft for kids to hang out in. I dream of having a table with a puzzle on it that stays out all the time. So anytime I want, I can go put in a couple of pieces on my puzzle and walk away. Currently, I'm kind of all in. If I start a puzzle, I either need to finish it or it has to get crammed under a couch because there's nowhere for it to live. I know a lot of you understand because you also live in small houses. I'm just excited that our dream might become reality. We're also talking about putting in under a section of the addition, we have the perfect slope to put in a daylight basement that would be large enough for the farm boy to have an office, and then also maybe a ping pong table, kind of a hangout room for teenage kids, maybe a band room so I can have my amp set up and my guitars out all the time and have my band friends over and we can actually have a place to rehearse without being in the middle of everything. So anyway, that's something else I've been doing lately. I am gonna pause because I have something I want to read to you. Okay, something else I've been doing lately. Since just before Christmas, I've been dream journaling. I know, right? So I have crazy vivid dreams, and I have my whole life. I don't tend to sleep very well, and so I'm in and out of sleep a lot, and I think that contributes to the fact that I remember my dreams. I think we all have crazy dreams. I just happen to be able to remember them. But you know what it's like when the dream is fresh and vivid first thing in the morning and you're like, oh, that was, you know, a great dream, or oh, that was creepy, or, you know, whatever. And then by the afternoon it has vanished. sometimes by 15 minutes after you woke up, it's vanished. So I've often toyed with the idea of writing my dreams down, and I've never done it until now. I decided now's the time. So most of my dreams lately, the vast majority of them have been, maybe not the vast majority of them, but about probably 1 in every 3 dreams has to do with market. And here's, you know, when I write, some of them are just a few lines, some of them are longer. There's a couple of dreams that took up 2 pages. I had a dream about taking my sister to Hobby Lobby, but we couldn't find the cross stitch section, and they kept like telling us, oh, it's back that way, and we ended up in this big empty flooded warehouse that we're paddling through, and they're like, keep going, you're almost there. And at the way back of the warehouse, I finally found the cross stitch section. I know you guys get it because you're cross stitchers. But I've been having dreams, a lot of dreams about market, and I'm not finding them offhand, so I'm going to quit rifling through this, but dreams that everybody is going to Kathy Barrick's room. Hi, Kathy! Who's 2 doors down from me at market, which we're excited about. We like interacting, especially on Sunday when it gets really slow. We just go out to the railing and chat, and it's fun. I enjoy Kathy a lot. But one of my dreams, everybody wanted to be in her room, and they were just walking past my door all weekend and not coming in. And I dreamed that I forgot all of my models at home, and all I had to decorate my suite with was a dead Christmas tree. And so I was doing my best to try to like make it look pretty and interesting, and like kept vacuuming up and sweeping up the dead needles that were falling out of the tree. What else? I dreamed I forgot my invoices. You get the drift, right? So far I have not been in my underwear at market. Usually the underwear dreams are not market for some reason. I don't know. Oh, I'm not gonna answer that. Telemarketer. Sorry, forgot to turn my ringer off. Anyway, dream journaling. If you don't do it, if you have dreams, you should start dream journaling. It's really fun. Like just since in the last month, I've had some doozies, and they're dreams that probably I wouldn't remember today, except I wrote them down. And so it'll be good for a chuckle to pick that up from time to time and just read back through my dreams. I have been really enjoying this essential oil blend. It's in my diffuser right now. I get my essential oils through Rocky Mountain Oils. I like the fact that they're not one of those, how do I say this nicely? doTERRA and Young Living, you have to go through a rep to get your oils, and usually your rep reports to another rep who reports to another rep. You know what I'm talking about? It's not a problem. My sister-in-law actually is a rep for Young Living. I could get my oils through her, but Rocky Mountain Oils has been around for a really long time. They bought a company that's been making essential oils since the 70s. And, you know, the original hippies that were making essential oil. And you can go directly to their website and buy their oils. I find that their quality is really good. I'm really pleased with all of the oils that I've bought through them, and I've bought quite a few. I don't benefit from telling you this, by the way. I just happen to like this company. Anyway, Energize is what I've been diffusing lately, and it smells so good. It's lime and cloves. That's all it is. I don't know what the ratio is. If you're essential oil people, you could probably make your own if you have lime and cloves, or you could get lime, I don't know, or you could go to Rocky Mountain and get their Energize. It's really lovely. Something else I've been enjoying lately. This ceramic ice cream cone. made by my daughter in her art class. She's unhappy that the cone is yellow. She wanted it to be like a tan color. But she did it all. Look at the little sprinkles on top and the chocolate. I just want to eat it. So, and I'm jealous the fact that she gets to do ceramics at school, because I was that girl who wanted art classes so badly, and I never, to this day, have not taken one single art class in my life. Is that sad? When my kids are older, I am going to make a point of taking some art classes through our local community college. They'll have to be probably evening, I don't know, I guess I could do them during the day. Why not? I'm my own boss. I can give myself a day off to take an art class. So my turn will come. I want to learn pottery. I want to take a landscape painting class, even though I'm not good at painting. Maybe I can be okay at painting. It'd be fun to take a photography class. I don't know. I just want to take art classes. So I enjoy this because my daughter is having the fun of art classes, and I can just vicariously enjoy it through her. What else? Is that all? Oh, no, not all. One more thing besides the daffodils I was going to point out, but I already did. I don't know if you've heard of a man named David Schump. He goes by Tramp Art. I'm probably going to edit that out. He goes by the Art Tramp. You can find him online at thearttramp.com. I'll put the address down below so you can copy it and paste it into your browser. He makes fantastic boxes and sewing related things, and they're all inspired by tramp art from the old days, which, if you're not familiar with tramp art, it was generally made by people that they called tramps because they were homeless or on the move, people that moved around a lot, and they would get cigar boxes and they would cut them and notch them in a particular way, and they would make art out of them, picture frames and all kinds of things. You should Google sometime folk art, tramp art, folk tramp art, antique tramp art, but definitely look David up. So I've been aware of him for quite some time and have looked at his pieces online and envied the people that had them because I just like what he does, but never made the step to get any for myself. And several months ago, he contacted me and said, you know, I saw this paper cutting that you had done with an Adam and Eve and a Tree of Life, and I really, really like it, and I wonder if you would consider making one for me. And so I don't know if you know this, but before I was selling my cross-stitch patterns, I dabbled in all kinds of different early forms of art, like paper cutting and needle punch and wool applique, and I would sell my finished pieces on eBay. So he had seen one of these things that I had done that was a paper cutting. I was like, oh, I don't know if I have time for this, but maybe if I wasn't doing it as like a commission, but if I was doing it as a trade, I would have more motivation. And he's like, that's a great idea, let's do it. So bless his heart, he was so patient because we started this conversation last July or August, and I just this week got my finished piece in the mail to him. He sent me mine before Christmas, and now I'm gonna show you. You guys are gonna die. Okay, so this right here is what's reminiscent of Tramp art. Can you see how it's stepped? And it's got little notches cut out of it. So he has, you know, cut each of those pieces individually, put them all on there, and it's the heart and hand. But then he made this emery-filled velvet pincushion and this spectacular antique mother-of-pearl button. And then it's got the holes for threads. I don't think I'm going to be able to bring myself to actually use it. I think I'm just going to look at it. But then he had this antique Bible that's just falling apart, and he wanted to use pages from the Bible in the project that I made for him. And he suggested maybe he could use a page from the Bible on mine, and what's my favorite book of the Bible. And so I thought about it, and I told him the book of Ephesians. I said because it's the epistle. Can you see that? Will it focus? The epistle of Paul, the apostle, to the Ephesians, because it's Old English. So it's adhered to the back, and it's just perfect in every way. Some gold on the sides. And it came with this sheet of the Bible, a page also from the epistle of Paul the apostle to the Ephesians. So I just wanted to brag about that. I'm going to take some pictures and put it on social media. And I'm sorry I can't show you what I made for him because it's already been mailed off, but I did take pictures. So if I ever get back around to blogging again, or perhaps after market when I have time to go through my pictures, I may put it on Instagram, maybe my blog. I don't think I've posted any new content other than new releases on my blog since last March. Maybe into the summer, I can't remember, but it's just for some reason has fallen to the wayside. I think it's Instagram's fault. It's really easy to just snap a picture and put a little caption on it and off I go. And with my blog, I have to, you know, sort through my pictures, choose them, edit them, upload them, and it's not just a single picture and caption. Typically it's, you know, a couple paragraphs. I don't know. I would like to get back to it. Mostly for my daughter, to be honest. She loves reading it. It's like the family photo album for her. So anyway, at some point you'll get to see pictures of what I made for him. It's completely unique, nothing I've ever made before. And who knows, maybe at some point in the future, if I'm in a spot where I need a design to release, because there's a portion of what I did for him is cross-stitched. I might try to persuade him to let me release it, but I don't know. I might just keep it as a one-time unique item that nobody else ever has. We'll see. I don't know. I don't like to make those decisions right now. I'll think about it. Okay. Now, this video is getting longer than I expected. Yay! Aren't we happy? More time together. I'm going to move these daffodils out of the way. Hope you enjoyed them while they were there. Here. Get those lovelies. They're still just in their little pot on a saucer, but I am thoroughly enjoying them on my kitchen windowsill. I want to show you a whip. I know, right? And well, sadly for you, it's not one of my designs because I'm not ready to give sneak peeks of my Nashville releases yet, and that's all I'm working on right now. But I have a little design that is my car project that I primarily work on when my kids are in their piano lessons. They have back-to-back half-hour lessons, and so once a week I sit in the car for an hour and stitch. And I saw, this is a free chart by Barbara Anna, and it's a Friscornu pincushion, and it's called Friscornu. You see that? Yeah, I know. So I love her colors, I love the whimsy of her designs, and I've never stitched one of her designs because I'm always stitching my own. So I decided, you know what, it's time. So I grabbed a piece of linen from my stash, which is no longer available. This is an R&R Reproductions classic homespun, but it's 35 count, which they no longer have. Manufacturers made it difficult to get, or maybe not available at all. I think this color is still available, just not in 35 count. So that's all I have done, is a little bit of the vines. Oh, my battery light is flashing. Yeesh. And I don't have a large collection of DMCs, and I want to stitch it with DMC. So I chose DMC colors that honor the overall look of Barbara Anna's design, but are not the called for colors. Oh, now I'm feeling rushed. Is my camera just gonna die on me? I don't know. I may need to just go plug it in for a minute and then come back and do more recording. Make pancakes for my kids and then come back after I eat dinner. I think I'm gonna do that. So here's a little cut, and then see you again on the other side. So I juiced my battery up partway, hopefully enough. My tea is now cold, but this tea still tastes good when it's cold, so it's okay. I think the last thing I told you about was my whip, which is this Frida Kahlo tribute by Barbara Anna, and it's going to become a Friscornu pincushion, which I'm excited about making. And I'm having fun with the colors. So that is that. I want to show you an FFO. This is one of my very first FFOs, and I'm showing it to you because I have kept all of the patterns over the years of all of the cross-stitch pieces I've done, except 2 of them. There are 2 patterns I can't find, and I can't find this one, and I don't know what it's called or who it's by, and you might just be the source for me to figure it out. So this was stitched in 1993. Try to eliminate the glare as much as I can. This was my first foray into designing. No, the overall design was not mine. This was all charted. It's a little sleeping boy with his teddy bear under a quilt with hearts. But I remember that these corner medallions were different, and there was another section down below that was charted, and the saying was different. And I, on my own, decided that I wanted to make some changes. Now, 1993, that was a long time ago. I hadn't cross-stitched in quite a few years. I had done a couple of projects as a young girl, and I was, oh, this is gonna, now you're gonna know how old I am. This was my senior year in high school. And our school was in a competition with local schools, and we competed in things like dramatic monologues and vocal singing. We would do solos, duets, trios, ensembles, choirs. They had athletics, and they had all kinds of art categories. And there was, if you were a senior and you competed in, I think it was at least 3 out of the however many categories there were, and if you got a ribbon in each, you had to get a ribbon in like, I don't know, 3 categories. And if you did that, then you got a special award. And I wanted to try for it. And so I added cross stitch to, because I knew how to do it, I did cross stitch for the sewing category. I did a sketch for the art category. I should find that and show it to you. I sketched a teddy bear. Took me forever because I'm not good at it. I especially can't draw straight from my brain very well, but if I have something right in front of me, I can do okay. It just takes a really long time. And I did, what else did I do? I did a recitation, dramatic monologue is what we called it. And I sang in a couple of different formations. I was in an ensemble, and I think I did a quartet and a duet that year. And I ended up getting ribbons in 3 of the categories, and so I got the special award. This I got a 3rd place in, and here's what they made us do. They didn't just look at the front. You had to frame it so that the back was revealed, and they also judged you on your back side. And if you look at this right here, was it that one? Yeah, that's where I started. And they had certain rules about how many threads you could cross over, and they wanted all of your threads to go up and down and not across. And this was the one I started on, or maybe this one, I don't remember. And it was messy. And then once I read the rules and realized, oh, it needs to be more tidy, and then the rest of it was tidy, and I didn't pick it out and redo it. And that was the main thing they marked it down for. There's my old handwriting. The name of my school, the old address. But what I don't know is what this original pattern was called and who it was by. So if any of you, in your vast knowledge of cross stitch, have ever come across this or have it in your stash, would you figure out what it is for me? I'd like to locate a copy of the pattern to put it with my other stash of patterns that I've stitched. And I'm going to pull out some of those and show them to you because, you know, this is how I got my origins as a designer. Is I started stitching when I was young, and it wasn't something that I did, you know, for long periods, but I would pick up a project and I would work on it and I enjoyed it and I would put it down. And usually I was making these projects for other people because I had a hard time finding designs that I wanted to keep and decorate with. I remember, anyway, that's another topic for another day, but I thought you might enjoy seeing. Yes, I did used to do backstitching. Never have liked it. Still don't like backstitching. And let's see, on to one more FFO. And this one is my design, and it's my new release for February. Yes! Yay! There's a new release in February. You don't have to wait until March for all of my releases. I typically try to release something new every month. It might be something small, it might be something larger, but I like to have a steady stream of new things for you because I know you like new things. I have a lot of designs. Oh my goodness, I have a lot of designs. I'm on track to hit number 200 at the next Nashville market. I'm dropping a major hint right here, but I did something pretty big for my 100th design. And if you go do some searching on my blog, you may be able to figure out what that was that I did for my 100th design, and you may be able to extrapolate that there might be something else coming for my 200th design. That's all I'm saying about that. Anyway, I have a lot of designs, and it's because I've consistently put one out new every month, sometimes 2. Usually for market I've got 4 to 6, but I have one more for you, and this will be distributed. So last month I had the 4 charts. They're never going to be distributed through Needle Workshops. You can only buy them through my Etsy, and that's because they're for charity. But this one is going to be just a standard old release that will make its way to the distributor and your Needle Workshops, either directly from me or because they buy from the distributor. So you're going to be able to get your hot little hands on this one, like right now. You don't have to wait until March to get something new from me. Are you excited? So I'm going to first do a little bit of setup. This is a sort of a re-release, but it's also a reboot. So if you're part of the Silver Needles Little Help from Our Friends Stitching Circle, last year, I'm trying to remember how long ago it was, I had a design that I released through that club. I believe it's an 18-month rotation, and they have several designers. Each designer just releases one, and then the next rotation they have a brand new set of designers. So this is just my one offering to that club, and I released this chart. It goes along with my alphabet series, F is for Friend. They asked me to make it completely exclusive to the club, and honestly that's not something I will ever do completely exclusively. But what I told them is that I would be happy when I re-released it to change it so that this iteration of this design was only ever available through their club. Okay, many of you are in that club and may have already stitched this. Many of you have asked me, when can I get my hands on that design? Well, the answer is you can now. Go to my Etsy, go to your needle workshop, you can get it. Like right now, it's available. So this is the new version of F is for Friend. And what I did is I changed the colors a little bit. And so the color palette is different. It's hard to totally compare these because this one is smaller. This one was made into a thread ring and this one is framed. So the instructions for making this into the thread ring, you're only ever going to get if you were in the club or if you can find somebody who's willing to part with their club piece that they haven't made it yet. But this F is for Friends I made, it's the same ladies. It's me and my BFF is who it is. But our outfits are, we swapped sides. Our outfits are similar, our hair is similar, but I enlarged the bouquet. I took out the surrounding blue border. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Here's the actual model. It's in a frame from the same company, signed and numbered. You can find them on Etsy, and I have used their frames for my entire alphabet series so far and just love these frames. They're made really well. They come in all kinds of great colors and finishes, and they're perfect for a series that's all going to be circular. What else can I say about it? Oh, I could tell you, hang on. Linen is Weeks Dye Works 32 count angel hair. The whole series is stitched on 32 count. It's a very approachable size for most people. My personal favorite is 36 count, but I think 32 is a more universal size, and so the series will all be done on 32, but this is Weeks Dye Works angel hair. The threads are a combination of Classic Colorworks Gentle Art and Weeks Dye Works because, I don't know, they were the right colors for the design. The chart does come with the DMC conversion if you want to stitch it in DMC as well, and you're always welcome to just say, you know what, I don't want my urn to be gray, I want it to be something else, and make it purple and give the ladies different skin tone, give them flaming rainbow hair. I don't care what you do with it. Make it your own, make it match you and your BFF, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called F is for Friend. It's number 9 in my alphabet series and available now. Links below. That's all I have to show you today. I'm going to talk just briefly about what's coming up in 2019. Obviously, we've got Nashville Market coming up. It's the first weekend in March. I have 3 weeks left to have everything done and ready to mail. Because I live too far away. I can't drive. So I can't just like be working on things up to the last minute and then throw them in the back of my car and drive like some people have the ability to do. Everything has to be shipped. So the models have to be shipped. I try to ship them a full week plus a couple extra days before my arrival in Nashville. So I'll arrive on Thursday, which is February 28th. And then Friday is setup day, and then the market opens on Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday is my travel home day. So I want everything to be there when I get there, and the hotel will receive for a couple days ahead. And so I start shipping everything out about a week and a half before market. So that doesn't give me much time to finish. I'm doing okay, but I have 6 designs that I'm releasing this year. I think I did 6 last year, maybe 5 the year before. The first couple years I only did 3, and that was a lot of work. So I have 6 new designs. 2 of them are the sampler and the pin cushion from the Dying to Stitch retreat in April of, was that 2016? It was a while ago. 2016 or 2017. I don't remember what year it was. So the 65, 70, however many attendees were at that retreat are the only people that have had this all this time, and I'm finally releasing those to the public. So that'll be fine. I have another sampler, so that's number 4, and then 5 and 6 are both going to be exclusives that you can only get through a needlework shop that attends market. Do I want to drop any hints? No. You'll have to wait till my next video. So my next video, the next time you see me here, I will be revealing my releases. I'll actually show you the models. I'll talk about them more extensively. And my 2 exclusives you are gonna love. One of them, one of the 2 is gonna hit every one of you in the right place. Well, most of you. I can't say every one of you. Not all of you are going to love them. But I'm excited about them, and I think you will be too. And then I'm working on a couple of little extras, little fun, you know, like finished items for needle workshops to put on their counter and sell. And one of them is pendants, which I've done before, but I'm doing them differently. They're going to have different designs in them, and they may or may not be double-sided, so you can flip them. And then I'm working on something else, but I don't want to talk about it yet in case it doesn't pan out. I'm not positive how it's going to work out. So that's it. My days are full of market strategy, planning, talking back and forth with my good friend Donna, who lives just south of Nashville, and she has been so kind all of these years to store my props. She receives all of the charts as I get them shipped out, and on probably usually Thursday she loads up her van, and it's full of, and I use props from her house. She gave me pictures of her house. She's like, all right, what do you want? And I'm like, I'll use that bench, and how about those little steps, and can I use that. And so I shop her house because the first couple years I didn't use props. I just had cloths on tables, and it just needed something to jazz it up. Some of these rooms that I would go into at market are amazing because these are designers that live closer, and they will literally fill a U-Haul and drive it to Nashville, and they have everything under the sun, and it's like walking into a boutique. And I will never achieve that with my room. Oregon and Nashville are too far apart. But Donna has made it possible for my room to be much more welcoming and inviting, and she doesn't charge me rent. I don't know where she stashes all of my stuff, but I try to keep it condensed into like 1 or 2 totes worth. But she keeps an inventory, and then now is the time that we're emailing back and forth and trying to remember, what did we say last year we wanted to remember this year? What do we want to change? What do we want to do different? So that's Donna Gabbard. And then Ann Wise is going to come help me again this year. Thank you, Ann. She jumped on board last year. Her family used to live in the area, and so they drove and got a room in the hotel, and her husband and kids visited friends, and she helped me out, and it was fantastic. And let me tell you, I needed 2 helpers last year. So I'm excited to spend time with those lovely ladies again, and hang out with my designer friends and my shop owner friends and vendor friends. And I wish we actually had time to spend together other than quick hugs in the hallway, but market is a really fun time, and can you tell? I'm looking forward to it. Even though sometimes my dreams would make you think that I had anxiety about it, I really don't. It's more just, you know, crossing things off the list. And so, you know, things like I hadn't ordered my invoices yet, and so I had the dream that I forgot my invoices, and so the next morning, what did I do first thing? I ordered my invoices. So they're now upstairs in the office waiting to be mailed to Nashville. So I think that's all the rambling for now. Let me check my list. Oh, what else is coming? So Nashville, obviously, is the next thing. And then in May, I will be at the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, and I have 2 projects that I'm taking. I'm going to do, I think it's going to look like a morning class and an afternoon class. And they want to do the Pins and Orts project that I took to Salty Yarns. So I'm going to teach that class. And then I have a sampler that I've charted and that I'm in the process of reproducing for my local historical society. I think I've talked about it on here, maybe. I'm not going to show it yet, but at some point I will. So that'll be the other class is, and it's not really going to be a class. It's going to be me talking about what it was like for me to reproduce it. And I'm hoping that the museum comes together with some information on the girl that stitched it originally. They currently are trying and are having a hard time digging up information on her. In June, I will have a design. Oh, also in May, my first design should be coming out for the Kindred Spirits Club through Dying to Stitch. I saw the first design for that. It's Paulette Plum Street Samplers has given out some peeks of her first design for the club, and it's pretty great. And so in May you will see my design, and then you will realize what the common thread is in our designs for the year. And then in June I will have a piece out for the club that the Tomorrow's Heirlooms shop in Chicago area puts on. And then in July I have just said yes to something Christmassy. Christmas in July for Crazy Annie's. She always does something fun in the middle of summer that's Christmassy, and so when I get back from Nashville, that'll be one of the first things that I design, because I already have my designs for the other 2 clubs charted. They just have to be stitched. And the charting is, I mean, stitching takes longer, but sometimes the charting is more tricky, especially if you have a specific theme or request that's been given you. Then you're not working strictly from inspiration, you're working off of a request, and it can be challenging. So that's what I have coming up for the first part of 2019. I've got some designs I'm very excited about releasing this year that will be just direct releases that I'll do through my regular channels. It's all great. Sometimes I feel silly that I keep designing so many designs. There's no way any of you can keep up with me. But I also try to keep my designs different. They're my designs, but I like to, you know, try different things and experiment, and you know, this one might not appeal to you, but then the next one might, or maybe one a year appeals to you because I have so many every year. So I guess I shouldn't feel silly about it, because I love that I get to do this, and I'm so thankful to you all for watching my ramblings on this video. I'm thankful to those of you who have supported me by buying my patterns, and those of you who have actually stitched them, because I know how you are. You collect, and then the chosen few are the ones that you actually work on, and the ones that you actually finish. And some of them happen to be my designs, and I'm just thrilled, tickled pink. So you keep buying my designs, and I will keep trying to put out a new one every month, and I think it's a good deal. We should shake on it. Shake. We need smell-o-vision so you can smell my tea. That's what we need. Okay, now I'm gonna go make pancakes for dinner. Yes, we do that. Farm Boy is coming home tonight. He's been on a week-long business trip, and we're excited to see him, although his flight got delayed, so he will come sneaking in the door after we're asleep. But it's just good to know that he's going to be back home, and life can return to our normal. So I hope that you're all doing well and enjoying your stitching. I've been seeing all kinds of fun challenges out there, and you guys inspire me so much. You make me sometimes wish that I wasn't designing and stitching my own designs just so I could stitch what all of you all are stitching. But I'll save that for 20 years down the road when I decide to retire. You think I can design that long? I'm gonna try. All right, that's it. See you all soon. Bye-bye. I don't think I've ever seen a morning rainbow before.
It's really pretty.
It's like really foggy and overcast, and the sun is just coming up. And there's a complete, wow, it's broken in places, but it goes on both sides of the house.
Look at that. So it starts right here, goes all the way over there. That's really cool. It's pretty too.
Sorry if I just made you dizzy. That, my friends, is the neighbor's cat. It sits and watches our house for hours on end. Creepy or friendly, you decide. What you working on?
Are you recording a video?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I'm.
Just show me what pattern you're working on. What is that character called?
Kirby.
Kirby. From what video game? From Kirby? I know, but most of the people watching this video don't know, so that's why I'm
Wait, is this going on a FlossTube video?
Yeah, it's going to go on FlossTube. Because we're at Acorns and Threads for the Pacific Northwest meetup.
Okay.
And for the first time we are here, and I brought my kids. So what are you stitching on, Little Miss Twist?
Heck.
We're not supposed to show charts on here, but this is a freebie, so it's okay. So what cats are these?
These are my cats that I've ever had in my life.
The cats that you've ever had in your life?
Freaky, Strange, and Socks.
Is this your first real cross-stitch project?
Yep.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Well, I don't eat a lot of gluten, but cake.
Really? The progress I've made.
They're here. Oh my.
Say hi.
Hi.
All right, I have one more chair.
We've packed the place out today. We're running out of chairs.
One more chair.
If I need to, I can sit on the floor.
We rotate.